Welcome to Board Ghost, a story broadcast with games as the engine.
If living is a highway, then heaven is a bus stop. Been waiting for a minute there, but has it been forever?
We believe you're out there, hungry for stories for shared experiences. We can't see you, can't hear you, yet we will play for you. This night's offering is a continuation of our game of Fiasco, playing the Break-a-Leg playset. To learn how we generate stories playing the game of Fiasco, go check out our Fiasco Rules Primer. So, our humble players, myself, John Holt, with me.
Ken Breese.
And Alexi Sargeant.
All right, welcome back.
Good to be
Cool.
back.
So, real quick, our grid, we have a Timothy Thistleton Jr., who is a director. He has a dubious side project with Antony Le Pumato, and they also share a need to get revenge on the actor who can never find her light, Catherine Devereaux. And between Antony Le Pumato and Wrench Anthony Pomota, there is a family, apparently they're cousins, but don't mention it, relationship. And we also have an object that we share in our relationship, a weapon, a big box of swords with no lock on it. And we also have we've kind of added an uncle figure, a made man named Joey Pomota. So between Antony the Wrench Pumato and Timothy Thistleton Jr., there's a work relationship. The director and functionary. There's also a location, the front of house atop the marquee location. And going into Act 2, we've had two tilts. Mayhem, an out-of-control rampage, and tragedy. Somebody's life is changed forever in a bad way. And up to this point, we've sort of established the dubious side project. We've started to entangle Catherine and Anthony and Joey and money and all kinds of good stuff. So we're going to roll right into Act 2 of our Break-a-Leg Fiasco.
Indeed. And we return at the beginning of Act 2, where we, of course, started Act 1. It's like poetry, it rhymes. As we're back at the top of the marquee with Timothy Thistleton Jr. and Wrench. Thistleton. And Wrench. Anthony Pumato, who goes by Wrench, the handyman technical director of this production of Macbeth that we've been putting on. But now he has very, very more important matters on his mind. Specifically, that his cousin, Antony, is blackmailing him, that he has been hooking up with the lady star of the show, Catherine Devereaux, who also has been hooking up with his Uncle Joey, who's a made man, who is going to take care, is going to knock off poor old Wrench if he finds out about what's going on. And so he wants to make sure that his cousin Anthony doesn't tell his Uncle Joey. So that means that he has to steal all this money for his cousin Anthony. And that is why he's meeting with Timothy Thistleton Jr., though he hasn't said it in so many words. Timothy, I said thanks for meeting me up here again in such short notice. I know we got a show here pretty soon.
Certainly. Wrench, what's on your mind?
Well, it seems the whole week's been going good. All the schools have been coming in, high schoolers, all the
Animals.
Yeah, they do like to leave gum on the seats, those little twerps. But, they're good kids.
Only 1 in 100 of them appreciate what we're doing. One lonely child living in the shadow of his famous father, ready for a moment of theatrical revelation to reveal how he can be a greater artist than his old man ever. What were you saying?
I don't know. They were most of them were making out as far as I could see. But I think they might like that sword fighting. That really gets them going.
They lap that up.
Speaking of sword fighting, I lost the key to the lock for the swords, so we're not going to be able to get them. but I know you got the master key. You know, I know it opens up everything, including the safe and all, but I just wanted to make sure that I could borrow that from you so I could get the swords, and I'll return it to you right after the show's done.
Wrench, what do you mean? What do you mean lost the key?
Yeah, you know, it's just the weirdest thing. I was hanging out with Catherine Devereaux. Maybe I left at her apartment. I'm not sure.
With Catherine Devereaux at her apartment?
Yeah, well, you know, it's just one of those things. You
The lead actress is not one of those things you do, Wrench.
Hey, Wrench, got to do the work that Wrench needs to do.
Ugh, no, I'm not going to picture this.
Yeah, but anyways, just do me a solid here and let me borrow that key.
I thought your job was to keep track of these keys to make sure something like this doesn't happen. We can't have the producers come breathing down our necks.
Don't worry, we got the producers taken care of.
But what if they want us to give an accounting of all of the keys? We have to. I have artistic matters to focus on. I can't afford to be distracted by you making rookie mistakes. I thought we could trust each other, Wrench.
We can. I trust you to back me up here. You know, we don't get the lock open, we don't have a show. So how do you want to do this? You can't be there in the back of the house. You need to be in the front where you got to be seen.
Thistleton is like smoked his cigarette down to his fingers and like tosses it down and stamps it out.
How does this go, John? It goes poorly for me.
Much as I'm loath to quote the old heathen, my father used to say, if you want something done properly, you have to do it yourself.
Oh, boy.
All right. Look, Wrench, I am the director here.
Yeah.
I need to keep the key on me. I will unlock what needs to be unlocked backstage, make sure the show can go on as it must. But I can't let go of this key, you see. It's a responsibility.
Yeah, all right.
You'll show me where I need to go and what I need to do.
Yeah. You just trust in me. We'll make sure everything gets exactly where it needs to go.
Good. I know I can rely on you to make up for your mistakes, Wrench.
Yeah, you better believe it, you son.
I'm gonna throw it open to you guys for the setup for Timothy, because if you give me the setup, I decide how it goes, right?
Yes, it's true.
Joey Pomota, he's come to like see Catherine, but also like sign the check or like give over some money.
Give some money,
for
okay.
this.
And this is what we need for
this is the nut. This is what Timothy needs to like make.
Yeah, for this to do the reading,
production,
which will bring in the people he needs to see to understand the brilliance of 13th Night.
Catherine is acting very dodgy. So she's very uncomfortable around Joey, almost slipping up. And Joey, is still kind of smitten. So he's not paying too much attention to it, maybe, but he's meeting to you to give you money.
Yeah.
Cool.
And you want that money.
I think
you want that to come through.
I've brought my set model and my little sketchbook to show him my vision for the production.
And you have Catherine modeling one of the costumes.
Right.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And as you can see, Mr. Pomata, funny that name almost rings a bell. Anyway, as you can see, the central theme really is the underlying tragedy, even of Shakespeare's comedy. Hence the title 13th Night and the subtitles Malvolio's Revenge, or What You Won't. Further ado about less than nothing. I thought that one was clever.
Yeah, you've got some good work on here. But and I was talking to Catherine the other night, and she can speak for herself on this, but I want to make sure she's getting her due in this play.
Oh, she's playing fully 3/8 of the roles.
Yeah, but I mean, you can write some more parts for her, I'm sure.
Yeah, Joey had talked about how more of a role for me maybe in the play. He wanted to see more of me.
She's a beautiful lady, and that's. I mean, if we're gonna make any money here, you want to put your greatest asset forward.
Oh, I mean, I don't think that yeah, eroticism is exactly what the play's inner logic is calling
Whoa,
for.
whoa, whoa! Eroticism. This is an angel. This is my Madonna.
Oh, and you want to explore the virgin whore dichotomy?
No. I'm saying she is.
Well, yeah. Let's take
She's a pure young woman, and I want her to be put on the pedestal she deserves. I want her on the stage.
We do have a pedestal in the set design, as you can see right here.
And that's perfect. But what I'm saying is,
maybe we don't need a pedestal.
I think
No,
that,
the pedestal is central to my vision.
She's a faithful, beautiful young lady.
Like
and,
Desdemona.
I'm not talking about anybody on 42nd Street. I'm talking about this young woman here in front of me.
No, Desdemona is the wrongly accused faithful wife of Othello who is smothered when he falsely believes she has committed adultery against him.
Yeah, he knew that. Don't tell him. He knows a lot about theater.
Yeah, I've seen guys get smothered.
You don't need to tell him about it. He knows a lot.
I appreciate the creative input, Mr. Pomota. I can certainly think about adding a monologue or a scene to make sure Catherine's role is well rounded.
Well, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is, I mean, she's been spending a lot of long nights working on this play with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I must.
We get in the time we can. Skirting a little around some of the union rules, but it's worth it for the artistry.
Yeah,
I want
jobs,
Catherine. I want you to have a bigger role, but it's been like almost every night this week. You've been.
Oh no, only Tuesday.
No. Every night we've been running lines.
Oh,
Timothy.
I'm glad to hear you've been running lines.
I think this is a good point. How's it going to go for you?
How does it go for you?
Oh, I get to decide if it goes well or poorly. I think this does not go well.
Okay.
Because I think I want Timothy to be a little more desperate for other sources of cash infusion, and so Uncle Joey does not end up writing him this check.
I'm hearing conflicting stories here, Catherine.
It's not what you think, Joey. He's a gentleman.
Oh no, I would never.
So how many times are you rehearsing this little art house play?
Until it's perfect.
Yes, it does have to be a perfect expression of the underlying vision.
I'm gonna have to hold off for a little bit.
But it's very
that sounds
very
wise.
essential.
Yeah,
we get this.
Don't rush into anything.
What are you, Catherine? What are you doing? No. We really need to line up some eyes on this piece, though. I'm sure you understand.
See, something doesn't sit right here with me, and you're just a little too thirsty, buddy. And
excuse me?
Yeah, you're chasing it too hard. I knew something didn't smell right. You aren't being straight with me about how hard you're working this beautiful woman here, and you just want it too much. I think you gotta slow your roll, buddy. All right, hey, I'll catch you on the flip, doll.
Oh, yeah, looking forward to it, Joey.
Catherine, what was all that about?
Do you know who that is?
A wonder.
They're bringing in students for the Thursday matinee.
Mm-hmm.
we're all there in our Elizabethan dress, answering questions as if we were of the time period, like Colonial Williamsburg.
Oh, beautiful.
Right.
Like a little
Like,
theme park
yeah.
experience.
What is this devil box that you've got with this light and these self-eyes that you are talking? You've stolen my soul, good sir. But so we're kind of lined up to the side.
Timothy's like, yes, the old, what sorcery is this? Unfrozen caveman shtick. They love that.
Catherine is like, we're all kind of playing the part. We're subsumed in our roles. Ever so cheeky Antony Pumato sneaks up behind and gives her a little squeeze or whatever.
Yep, and she's saying, "Oh, your garb is so unknown to me, future man. I don't understand. Where is your armor and your what the?"
And and somebody snaps a pic of it.
Yeah.
With their phone.
My face is just like disgusted.
Yeah. Anthony Pomota goes, "Young man, it's not polite to take a picture of a woman when she has not given you her consent to take a picture of her." And so you can be teenage boy, TBD name.
Yeah, whatever, old man.
What? Why don't you give that phone over to me?
I don't think so. I'm tweeting this.
You disgusting lout. You're lucky I don't tell your Uncle Joey all about you.
I'm getting this on video.
Catherine? My lady? This young man just caught proof of my cousin getting a squeeze on you.
And she says, "I don't understand this sorcery. What sorcery is this?"
He's going to use this sorcery and put it on social media, and someone's going to find out about it.
Oh, man, I have no idea what's happening here, but this is definitely going on the Insta.
And that's when Anthony goes, "Catherine, you go that way. I'll go that way." And we start chasing this kid around the theater.
Nice, trying to get his phone.
Like he's climbing over seats.
Yep.
And I'm also trying to climb over seats. "Come back here, boy. Catherine, you gotta stop him."
Yeah.
It's going to go well.
Goes well.
I think you get
think-
this.
I think you
You
get
get this
this.
boy.
You get the phone at least.
Yeah, so the kid like stops in front of Catherine and she's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, totally. She like, she like throws a petticoat at him. Or something like
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
and it like trips him up.
yeah. And he's like, "Oh, lady," and that's when
Yeah.
he just gets side tackled by
Who's a pretty big guy.
yeah,
I
big
mean,
guy,
he-
and the phone just goes scattering down the aisle.
Hey, they didn't say this was one of those haunted houses where people can touch you. No, what gives, man?
Then she fell. Just run off and grab the phone.
"Don't use your devil sorcery to steal our souls," he says as I stomp on the phone.
A teacher comes over and says, "Is everything going all right here?"
"Yes, madam. I was just teaching this young man about the good old days."
Okay. Aiden, let's give these nice folks some space.
"Oh, it looks like your space toy met with a dire end."
The boy like flips you off with both hands as he's being pulled away by his teacher.
The end of my scene.
Very nice. This scene takes place a few minutes before curtain.
For which play?
A Macbeth.
Okay.
For Macbeth. For the play that we were just talking about, where the kids come in. It is that. It is the last play of the week before the money leaves the theater. And so Timothy Thistleton is back of the house because he has to use his skeleton key.
Yeah, he's got the
to
master key.
open up the cabinet of swords. However, when he arrives at the cabinet of swords, the lock is not there. But who is there is Catherine, who knows that she's supposed to distract Timothy for a few moments as Wrench works his magic.
Got it. So Timothy's doing his best to fill in as far as the kind of backstage work, since he has the only copy of the key.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, Catherine, I believe I'm supposed to prepare this sword case so the stage combat can go on its merry way and entertain the masses with the blood and bread and circuses. Do you, I'm and he's like just kind of like trying to get round her and like a little confused by the fact she's remaining in his
Tim,
way.
You see, hey Tim, listen, I wanted to talk to you about 13 and
13th night.
well, yeah, I mean,
Or What You Won't, or Malvolio's Revenge. Yes, certainly. What were you thinking?
well, you were talking about the other day when we were in rehearsal, and I was getting hooked up to the harness to do the flying bit. I was thinking, what if I stuffed Sparkles? I don't know if it has to be like at least adjacent to down there, and as I fly, I'll expel them. So it's like I'm sort of floating with sparks coming out.
a commentary on the fetishization of the supposed manic pixie dream girl, kind of crossed with Shakespeare's Ariel from The Tempest. It's a little conceptual, don't you think?
Sure.
And from the darkness comes Wrench's voice. You could never recognize genius when it was right in your face. And as you sort of turn, you see him with this large wrench in his hand, sort of looming above you, behind you.
Ep2 wrench!
Wrench goes to bring down this weapon upon Timothy. How's it go for
How's
me?
it gonna go?
So I'm giving you a goes well.
Awesome. So it goes well for me, which means that I do not kill you. I just brain you and knock you out. As I'm doing it, I'm saying, you should have been able to control Antony. You ain't no director. Knocking you out. And that's when I take the key and I look at Catherine and I say, time to get this money.
I think as Timothy falls, he manages to strike a like kind of perfect Hamlet-like pose, like falling down against the safe, and his the key like kind of rolls out of his hand like a Hamlet's rapier clattering to the floor.
Yeah, before his eyes like roll back and he starts to seize from brain damage.
My goodness.
Catherine and Wrench go off to rob all the cash in the safe in the back of the old
Yeah, and
theater.
Catherine sort of like steals a fearful glance. Like there's a dude with a bloodied wrench
Yep.
and her beloved director on the ground, and she
Well, you know, we've been doing
she
it for a while. We've been
hesitates.
doing it for a while.
and
so,
I think she
you know.
grabs a dagger out
Yeah.
of the cabinet.
Yeah.
and hides it in her dress before she runs
She sure does.
after Wrench.
It looks different than normal. Maybe they've been polished recently.
Mhm.
I don't know. Weird.
I want to do that
too good for
flashback though, like maybe the implication with the way the scene transitions, like kind of like zooming into Timothy's face and there's a wavering.
Yeah.
The implication is this is what's like flashing through his
death,
mind
yeah,
as
he's
he's dying.
Yeah.
So I think it's a flashback to a young Timothy Thistleton Jr. telling his father, Sir Timothy Thistleton Sr., that he's going to be a greater director and theater maker than his father ever was. And he's like, the people may say your Hamlet was impressive, but to me, you're always an old grasping King Lear standing in the way of the geniuses rising up in the next generation.
Boy, I have seen things that you could only imagine.
What
I
have you
have
seen?
tasted the very words of the page, boy. I've eaten more volumes of the old bard's work than you could even
Then what?
sense to read.
Then what, Dad? You're running out of your metaphor halfway through.
Because I would have wasted it on you. I found it was so beautiful that why would I spend my fresh words on you,
Your
child?
fusty old productions, all they appeal to is nostalgia, people who can't get enough of the so sacrosanct Shakespeare. I'll show you. I will find the new Shakespeare, and if it kills me, I will put it on stage, and you will admit that I am the greater Thistleton.
Ha 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 ha! This is why your mother died so early in your life, boy. Disappointment.
What?
If I didn't have my own success to carry me, I might have felt the same. You'll get nowhere. I know where your kind ends up.
Where?
Off Broadway.
No! Take it. You take it back. You take it back. You know I have potential. You know I can be greater than you. Admit it. Admit it, old man.
How's that going to go?
It goes bad.
It goes bad?
Yeah, poorly.
Admit it? I will admit nothing.
I see. So the rest is silence.
This is the night after the heist.
Okay.
We're on the marquee,
Okay. Oh,
looking,
okay.
right?
Sure.
Looking down at
You
the
and me?
Yeah, you, me, and Catherine
Okay,
are
got
on
it.
the marquee. And we're looking down in the street at there are police cars
Yeah.
there, and they're loading an ambulance with Timothy Thistleton Jr.
Yeah.
Sloppy work, but it seems like you were successful. He licks his thumb and starts counting the load of money. I think that this will be a good start in making sure Uncle Joey doesn't find out anything more.
What do you mean a good start? We gave you what you asked for.
Oh, dawg, you ain't never played this game before.
I see. You're stepped in blood so far that however the rest of that line goes.
Hey, look up. There, you did a good job on this one. The next one will go a lot smoother. Don't you worry, cousin Antony. We'll keep getting this money.
I think that this is going to be a beautiful relationship, and I'm so sorry, Catherine, but I don't know if Timothy is going to pull through, but I do think we should continue on with his work. But we may have to recast, I'm afraid.
Wait, you're not going to do 13th night?
Oh no, we'll do it.
It's going to be a one-woman show?
It'll be 14th night, as written by Antony Le Pumato. It's the one. It's not as unlucky a number as 13 was, and secondly, I just don't think there'd be room for a female cast. I think we go back to having men and young boys playing the women. We're going to go more historical with it, a more accurate production.
For some reason, this is the final straw for Catherine, and she pulls the dagger out that she secreted earlier and
how's this going to go?
flings herself at Antony.
I think it was bad for you,
It
man.
was bad.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think it was bad.
She lunges at him.
Yeah.
And
Like, super
and
surprised.
and
I
she's
didn't know you
she's
had that.
about to stab him, and he goes, "Oh!" And that's when there's a police light that just spots right on her, and she freezes, like just this gorgeous tableau.
She's found
of
her light.
right?
Yeah.
Antony takes this moment and pulls on her gown,
Yeah.
and she topples off the marquee into the street. And he looks down with this mad grin on his face, and that's when the cops go, "Freeze!" He's just committed murder in
Yep.
like full view of all these
Yep.
people as his cousin sort of blends into
Blends
the shadows, dropping the
Yeah,
bloody
the
wrench
bloody wrench
next to it.
Yeah. Correct.
Oh, beautiful.
Awesome. All right, and that's Fiasco.
That's our Fiasco.
All right,
So now we're gonna go to our
almost,
aftermath.
Almost.
Mm.
That's the...
So aftermath, what you do is you roll all your dice.
Okay.
Cool. I got a positive 17, which is fan-fucking-tastic. It's fat times ahead, safe and secure. That thing that would have made your life better. Oh yeah, you got it. Absolutely. And then some more. Enjoy it.
Black 13 Plus is awesome, insanely great. You will emerge not only unscathed, but if there's a girl involved, she's dropping her drawers. You might even get rich off this caper, who knows? Time for a new ride.
I am at a 5 black, it looks like. So I have rough. You're getting whipped like a rented mule. For starters, you will remember this episode for all your diminished days. The lesson you learn will be profound, lingering, and painful.
Brutal. The first thing, I get away with all the money. I've got all this money that I stole from the show. No one's really sure who actually stole the money, so it's unclear. It's unclear. Maybe Catherine did. No one knows. No one's talking. It's me stacking cash behind fake bricks in my apartment, and I'm like smoking a cigar.
We go to a hospital bed, and we see Timothy Thistleton Jr. lying there under his breath, seemingly not fully conscious. He's just saying, "Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage." But then as the door comes open and the doctor walking in is like, "He hasn't really been responsive. I don't think you'll get anything out of him." Timothy Thistleton sits bolt upright, and he's like, "No, I'm ready. I'm ready for my close-up."
We are at sentencing.
Yeah.
Antony Le Pumato, it's become a sensational thing. This is a viral video of two people killing one another. They also were able to retrieve from the cloud the footage of him tackling a young man.
Yep.
It's all bad for
Bad
him.
news.
And he stands there, head held high, silent tears down his cheeks as the judge sentences him to life in prison.
He is winning an award. He's actually accepting the award on behalf of his incarcerated cousin, who was nominated and actually won this award. Even after being incarcerated, it's part of the whole sensationalism that's bringing a lot of new people into the theater scene. So I'm accepting this award on my cousin's behalf at the award show. And but the adoration is definitely on me. And people are asking me about what the next show I'm going to be working on. And now I'm apparently some sort of money man, financier, that it's come out that I have some money to spend on a show. So yeah, I'm just surrounded by the glitterati of the theater world at this award show.
Oh, that's beautiful. I'm jumping in there.
Yeah, please.
The blow that Timothy took to his head meant he lost all memory of that those few days. So he has no idea that Wrench was the one who did this.
Mm-hmm.
It's also drastically altered his personality.
Yep.
And he is just way smoother, way better. So we see him rolling into this award ceremony, and he's got a woman on each arm.
Yeah.
When they say, and for adapting his own dramatic story for the screen, the award for Best Director goes to Timothy Thistleton. And he goes up and receives the award, and he says, "Yeah, I'd like to thank my dad, who's always been my biggest inspiration."
He's waiting to be taken to federal prison. Before he's put in, he's actually kind of shuffled off into a side room. His lawyer leaves. He's sitting there cuffed to a desk, and two suits come in. One's holding a folder. They say, "Mr. Le Pumato, unless we're mistaken, your given name is Antonio De Pumati of the De Pumati family, crime family." And they put down a folder that says, Federal Bureau has a seal, and they open it, and there's this picture of Papa Pumati, De Pumati, the big
Don.
New England crime boss. And they go, I think we can help you avoid prison if you are willing to work with us, sir. And he hangs his head.
Nice. It's opening night for the play that Timothy Thistleton Jr. has written about his experience recently.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Wrench is a technical director on it, but Wrench is also one of the producers. He has a financial stake in it, and he's also been able to get Sir Timothy Thistleton Sr. to direct the whole thing.
Oh man!
So it's like a whole crazy, like it's the first night of the show, and both Thistletons are there, and it's just a scene. We just sort of see Wrench like looking over the marquee, this time just by himself. Like there's Thistleton Jr. is not there with him, and he's just sort of beaming, looking at all this stuff.
In the theater, watching the events play out, Timothy Thistleton is like in the front row, but kind of like kicked back, like arms behind his head, just enjoying the spectacle as on stage actors rush about, swinging swords and daggers and wrenches at each other. And he's like, stage violence, isn't it the best?
Antony is giving the performance of his life.
Yes, he is.
He is holding back the sweat as he is wired up in the den of iniquity, in the bar restaurant of the Pomota family, with the feds listening in, and his Uncle Joey is right there.
Yep.
It's all set up. It's all ready to go. And the signal comes in, and the doors bust down, and he stands up, and his wire clatters to the ground. And Joey goes, "You fucking rat!" and starts lunging for him, and then pop, pop, pop. Joey is filled with holes and falls on top of him, just riddled with bullets and bleeding, and like trying to strangle him, even as the last bit of blood. And the feds pull him to his feet and say, "You were amazing tonight."
Yeah. As part of this bust, Wrench's name comes up. It's specifically around this money that was missing. It's just very unclear, but he's definitely implicated. He's arrested. Like, there's a whole scandal in the newspapers about it. Like, his familial relationships are now finally revealed. He's connected. He's connected to the mob, whatever. He's like arrested. And so we see Wrench like being taken into custody. Tons of cameras there. It's like his Fifth Avenue high rise that he's like being taken out, and the doormen are like opening up the doors or whatever, and they're detectives taking him off. And he's just sort of like whatever, this hulking, stagehand dude being taken off. And that's what happens there.
We cut to this New Mexico desert town. Sun is just coming up, and a beat up old car pulls into employee parking at the back of the school, and out steps Antony Le Pumato, now called Andy Tomato.
Andy Tomato. Andy Tomato.
That's what the little stitch badge on his janitor's uniform says.
Oh.
He sighs and he goes into the school, kind of on a whim. This is his first shift in witness protection, and he passes the school's auditorium, and he just has to go in. So he wheels the bucket in there. He hears on the stage say, "Bring up the lights," and the lights come on. He hears a kid in the lighting booth up there saying, "Is that good, Miss Katie?" And there on stage is Katie Dumo.
Oh no!
Also relocated by the feds for her own protection.
Of course.
Oh my goodness.
And we hear his teeth grinding.
Yeah.
Last scene is Wrench living it up in white collar prison. He did not rat out on his family. The whole stealing money thing never really got figured out. They couldn't really pin it on him, so they sort of were able to get him for tax evasion. So he's in like white collar prison, but his like family is super down for him because he didn't rat on them, and he's just like he still has his rewards and prestige, and it's almost like his star as like this like back alley producer financier is even gone even higher because of the tax evasion. And so yeah, he just, as he gets out of jail, we see a limo basically
pulls
waiting
up.
for him. Yeah, and he gets in it.
With that, our story ends. We will return with a new tale to spin to dare to entertain. I was one of your players, John Holt. You can find me on Twitter at Lord Joho and on Instagram at board_ghost. Ken, where can people find you?
Hey, at Board Ghost, you can find me, Ken, on Twitter at Berlingsbeard, Berlings Beard. Also find me at my website of the same name. I'm an independent RPG content creator and for-hire dungeon master in the New York City area. Just recently released a product called the Adventure Mixtape. It's an anthology of one-shot D&D adventures and awesome songs that were written specifically for the adventures. Check them out on DriveThruRPG. You'll love it.
I'm Alexi Sargeant. You can find me at my website, alexisargeant.com, and on Twitter at Alexi Sargeant. Sargeant is spelled Sargeant. If you're a fan of the Shakespearean mayhem we got into in this episode, definitely check out on my site the game I'm playtesting called No Holds Barred, the Shakespearean combat game.
All right. To find out more about the engine and players in our story, go check out boardghost.com. You can reach out to us on Twitter at BoardGhostWorld. You can attempt to pierce the veil and go check out boardghost.com has our contact information. So go reach out there. If you'd like to subscribe, do that on iTunes, your favorite listening portal. Also, leave a review on iTunes. That would be helpful in getting us up in the ratings and rankings. Our Patreon, if you'd like to help us collaborate in making the show, is patreon.com/boardghost, where you can get access to exclusive how-to-play videos, early episode releases, and art from the show in various wallpaper formats. So again, patreon.com/boardghost. We'd like to thank Pat Couples for our theme song and interlude music. You can find more about Pat at patcouples.tumblr.com or on his band's website, hotelsandhighways.com. If you're not alone in the void, share our stories. The more they are consumed, the truer they become.
Dying down